We have officially entered new territory in real estate. Let's talk about it. Okay, so it's been over a week now, right? August 17th. All the new rules came into place based off of this nationwide ruling based off a $1.8 billion lawsuit. So there's a couple things you need to know and a couple of things I'm already seeing in the market. So let's talk about the buy side. So right now, agents cannot show homes without a buyer-broker agreement. Now, there are three different types of agreements. There's the exclusive, where you're only going to work with that one agent. There's non-exclusive, meaning you can work with any agent you want, but you do have an agreement signed. Or you can do property specific. So kind of what I've been seeing is the initial one might be property specific, right? If I just met someone and I'm not sure if it's gonna be a good fit, let's go ahead and see a property. They see it, property specific. But then after that, it has to be exclusive, at least with our office. The reason being is, just like before, I've worked with buyers before where they've worked with multiple agents and it's almost never worked out. Primarily because it gets very complicated if, let's say, I send them a listing, then they ended up seeing it with another agent, but then it's like, well, I sent it to you initially. Like, it starts to get really murky as to who actually is entitled to compensation. So by doing an exclusive, it's very clear. It's also very clear on the compensation. So that's one of the other big changes, is buyers and their agents need to have conversations around compensation. If, for example, you as a buyer don't want to pay anything, you want it to come out of the seller net proceeds, that's fine. You just have to communicate that. Or if, let's say, you've agreed to pay 2.5% to a buyer's agent, but the seller's only paying 2%, then you as the buyer need to come up with the difference. Opposite's also true. So if it's if the seller's paying 3%, but your agreement's showing 2.5%, the buyer gets the difference, because it's all based off concessions is what they're calling it. That's the new buzzword. So as a buyer, is it good for you to sign these? The short answer is yeah, it's good to show a level of commitment to the agent. The agent's going to provide additional value. So for example, we're part of the Top Agent Network. That's where we network with other top 10% of producing agents here in Los Angeles. I only do that for my clients that sign an exclusive, right? Because I need to be able to tell these other agents that I have a bona fide buyer. That's how that works. Now, here's where things are getting interesting. On the seller side, to be clear, it was always negotiable. The difference was some sellers didn't know that, and some sellers felt, well, shouldn't that be a negotiation item, because I'm basically paying a buyer's agent to negotiate against me. So here's what we're seeing. If a seller doesn't pay, buyers aren't interested. I can't tell you in how many forums I've read and how many posts I've been seeing where the agent's legitimately saying like, hey, I want to schedule a showing for your listing. However, if the seller's not paying, go ahead and cancel the showing, because my buyer only wants to see those properties. In which case, your pool of buyers as a seller starts shrinking more and more and more, because on a practical basis, a buyer may not have enough money for the down payment, closing costs, renovations, and now they got to pay their buyer's agent. So yes, it could change how we do models, which I'll talk about in a different video. But in the meantime, as a seller, the choice is yours, but know that the lower you pay or not pay at all on the buy side commission, the least likely you're going to get top dollar. And it's not necessarily because agents are steering, which was one of the concerns before, and it was probably legitimate, but it's because the buyer can't front the difference. So it's something to think about. So with either strategy, whether you're looking to buy or sell, really it's not about major changes that are happening in the industry. It's more about just better understanding how to navigate it. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask your questions below. Happy to chat more about it. DM me if you're interested. Don't forget to smash the follow, like, subscribe. Really appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of your day.